The Ring Fanatics Podcast, episode number 7. I'm Nick, your host. With me, as always, is my boy Joel, my co-host.
Yo.
Today is our Hell in a Cell prediction episode, and we got a special guest with us to help us out. He's a freshman at St. Francis College and host of Meme Review on TerrierTV. Please welcome Anthony Cerulli. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'm really excited to talk about Hell in a Cell and everything else we're going to be talking about today.
Glad to have you on here, man. Glad to have you on. We spoke, me and you, Anthony, and of course Joel. We spoke about this last WWE pay-per-view episode. WWE they like to wait till the end of the week, end of the time to announce more matches. Today's currently Friday the 23rd, and they only have 4 matches on the card at the moment, which is weird. Do you guys think this is purposeful? This is meant to be like this, or do you think that they're going to eventually announce more within the next 2 days?
No idea, to be honest. WWE loves to add matches on, especially Sunday. And also we have Friday Night SmackDown tonight, so
That
you
is
never
true,
know.
yeah. That is
Yeah,
true.
they I don't know. They've been doing like a lot of shorter cards lately. Like all the, big pay-per-views that they've been doing, they've only had like 6-7 matches, and then you got the pre-show. So I think, at most you'll probably see like 2 more added. And like you said, we got like Friday Night SmackDown tonight. So, they'll probably add like, if anything, like a filler match or maybe one more big match. But besides that, I don't really see them adding in anything besides the pre-show. And they're going to announce that on Sunday like always. But, we'll see what they add. But I'm really hoping – I told you, Nick, I really hope that they do add Rollins versus Murphy, because that's really the big match that, if anything, that's the one that really should be added.
Yeah. We got to wait till SmackDown tonight. Who knows? Maybe announced tonight, maybe announced tomorrow or Sunday. But I guess we can get right into it. The first match between the 4 is one of the only non-title match we have on the card, basically. It was announced Monday. It's Elias versus Jeff Hardy. Between the last 2 Monday Night and Raws that we've seen that started this feud, I guess we can start with you, Anthony, for this one. Who do you have winning this match based off what we got last 2 weeks on Raw?
I mean, for the short amount of time that they had to build up this match, they've honestly done a pretty good job. Bringing back Elias was a really big thing for WWE right now, because they definitely need him with the draft and everything. And I've been reading a lot about how, they're still really high on Elias. I think he's like due for a really big push coming up. So I think if anything, this is the match that he should win. And I don't really see Jeff winning this. I think at this point in his career, he's kind of just like going to start elevating other people if he hasn't done so already.
Yeah.
He had his big story like, the last few months, but I think this is really when he starts bringing up guys like, like Elias, and eventually maybe, he gets a match with The Fiend. But that's another story for another day. But I think for this weekend, I don't see Elias not winning, and it'll probably, in true Elias fashion, it'll be like a flash pinfall or something like that. But I think Elias is going to end up with the win.
Yeah, it's weird how they just throw this match in kind of like within a 2-week span. Great return for him, just
definitely.
randomly coming in through the draft and then attacking with the guitar. Definitely was unexpected for me to see him back. But what do you feel about this match, Joel? Do you think Elias will beat Jeff Hardy, or do you think Jeff Hardy will be that underdog story again in this match?
I'm the biggest Jeff Hardy fan. That's my guy right there. But I'm gonna have to go with Elias. I think they're gonna build him up a way to make him a big star. The way he returned and everything.
Yeah.
I think they have something planned for him. I think Jeff Hardy is just gonna bring him up to that next level. As Anthony said, Jeff Hardy is gonna be there to elevate new superstars. So I think that's what he's gonna do with Elias.
Do you think that Elias will get a championship opportunity soon, either for the U.S. or WWE championship on the line?
I'm hoping too. I don't think he'll get a world title match soon, but I think he'll get a secondary title.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those characters that doesn't really need the title, like in terms of like a big title. But like I could see him winning, like, I was gonna say the IC title, but that's on SmackDown. Like the United States title if they get it away from the Hurt Business. You know, he's one of those characters where it's just like his novelty is his gimmick, that it's just him doing like the guitar stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could definitely win the big title if they really push him for it. But I think for now, if you stick a secondary title on him, I think he'll be fine regardless.
I spoke with both of you about this before, that and Anthony, me and you spoke about this before we started, how Elias is one of those natural heels in the company. Everyone loves to hate him, and he loves to make people hate him too. Is that that's just who he is, and I feel like he's the one of the heels in WWE that we need to see right now, that we need to hate and love to hate. Like, we have a King Corbin on SmackDown. We have these Retribution guys who are still not there yet for me, but we need that heel on Raw that we need to hate at the moment. And I feel like he's that guy. And I feel like if you give him a push, that would be an excellent thing for him as well in terms of WWE. So I also have Elias winning that match. You know, you can't not have him win. I feel like Jeff Hardy also, with that big storyline with Sheamus, that lasted for months. I feel like that was just already an underdog story for him already. We don't need another one from him. I feel like that was already enough for his point. So Elias needs to win this. I see no reason for Jeff Hardy to win it. It's just he's always been that underdog ever since he returned, like I think 2 years ago, from that injury he had. So I got Elias winning this one. You mentioned the Fiend, Anthony, before him and Jeff Hardy feuding with the Fiend. Do you feel like? I know there were rumors in the past that Jeff Hardy might bring back Willow. Would you love that match between them two? Would that be like a WrestleMania match?
That's one of the matches that, like, a dream match. Like, if you want to talk about dream matches, which, I mean, I could see why the WWE would be like hesitant to do so.
That was a TNA gimmick, right?
It was a TNA thing, and you know, they've already like tried to do a TNA thing when they did like the broken Matt Hardy stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
They failed miserably with that, so they might be a little bit hesitant to do that. But at the same time, I feel like if you give Hardy like full creative control on this, he could build it enough that it could be really something special. And, you know, this is like, I feel like Hardy needs something like that, because I don't see him winning, as much as I hate to say it, I don't really see him winning like a world title at this stage in his career. I think, you know, he really needs something that if he wants to stay, you know, afloat or, you know, go up against bigger guys, then I feel like Willow's like the perfect opportunity for him to do that, just to bring in something to like refresh his character a little bit.
Would you hold that up for WrestleMania, or just want to do it ASAP, like one of those matches like you need this now, or
I mean, it really depends, because, you know, I feel like they're gonna, if, you know, and that's a big if fans are allowed for WrestleMania, I feel like Vince is gonna want to stack that card as much as possible. So, you know, if you want to do so, that's a match that I'd see, you know, you hold off for WrestleMania. But, you know, if the time is right and you want to go for the feud, you know, I'd say first match, you have the Fiend just beat regular Jeff Hardy. And then, you know, you let Jeff go away for a little bit, and then you bring in Willow, because now, you know, you have the feud and you can build up for a little bit more. And then you bring in Willow at the exact moment. And then you do, you know, whatever vignettes you want to do to hype up Willow. And I don't really see a problem with them doing it at Mania, but it just, at that point, it becomes, you know, who do you have win? You know, are you really gonna have the Fiend lose to Jeff Hardy? You know, after like almost years of build up. So, you know, that's a decision you got to make. But WrestleMania, I don't know. That's a really good match for me.
Anthony, I like you, man. I don't know, Nick. I don't know if we've talked about this on air or off air, but we've talked about Willow coming in.
Yeah.
Bray beating regular Jeff Hardy, and them having a face-off. Like, don't have Willow come in like December and have them face off at Royal Rumble. Don't let them touch each other. They both get eliminated. Then you do the vignettes leading up to Mania.
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. I think that would be the perfect way to get Willow versus the Fiend.
Yeah.
I remember we talked about it during our Clash of Champions episode. I think you mentioned a way for them to bring Willow back, or to start the feud between them two at Clash of Champions. But that's long gone already, so we can't do that again.
You still got time.
We still got time.
December.
Definitely.
Yeah. How would you do? Would you have them start facing off at TLC maybe? Because TLC is kind of like his specialty thing. You know, like we don't know if he's gonna have a match then yet. Of course, obviously it's 2 months away. But do you think that having a match Jeff Hardy at TLC would be kind of like a starting point for The Fiend versus Willow?
Yeah, I would have it start there and have Jeff lose and have him question himself. Be like, this is my match. How could I lose this?
Yeah.
Then you give him a couple weeks, or maybe he returns like the first Raw of the new year as Willow. And then him and The Fiend never interact until Royal Rumble. And then even then, all they do is a face-off. They don't even interact. So, like, when they face off, like, just two guys just eliminate them. Like, just grab them and eliminate them at the same time. So you never really have that. You have that moment of them just having that stare down, but never laying a hand on each other.
That's one of those matches that I really hope the crowd is back for.
Exactly.
I desperately want the crowd to be back, but of course the safety precautions first. But we spoke about this, like I said, back in Clash of Champions episode, how I feel like that would have been the perfect moment to do it, because you had the triple threat ladder match at Clash of Champions. We spoke about it, Joel and I, how The Fiend should have come out during the ladder match and cost Jeff Hardy the title. Kind of like how, like we said, Jeff Hardy climbs up to the ladder, this close to the championship. All of a sudden, lights go out. The Fiend's there, throws him off by mandible claw, something like that. I don't know. But then that would have been the perfect start for me, honestly. But who knows? We still got time for that match. We don't even know if the Willow's coming. We don't. That's just a rumor.
Jeff said that he really wants to go up against The Fiend, and he's also brought up, Willow and everything like that. But it also becomes, do you want to see Willow or do you want to see Jeff bring back his old theme song? Which I guess he could do both, but he said that he wants to bring back his old theme when fans come back. So, that's a decision that really Jeff has to make. Do you want to hear No More Words or do you want to see Willow? I mean, I'm sure he could do both, but then you probably have to push one or the other back a little further.
You could probably do something like what Bray Wyatt's doing with the Firefly Funhouse.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. You could definitely do that.
You could have Jeff Hardy be just regular Jeff Hardy, and then the Willow comes out randomly, like The Fiend does.
Yeah.
You could do something like Jeff has matches, but Willow never has a match till the Royal Rumble, and then doesn't have another match till Mania. You only see him backstage doing stuff, but Jeff Hardy's still having matches.
Yeah, it's like two personas in one.
Exactly.
That you've seen.
That honestly could work a lot. I didn't even think about that. That's a really good idea.
Because that's the thing that they haven't done much with. We've seen, I don't want to go a little bit off topic, but we haven't seen Firefly and Funhouse Bray have a match in a while. I think he's only had one or two matches as the Firefly Funhouse Bray, but they should do something like that where, I think we mentioned this once before, how the Royal Rumble, he should come out as all three Brays. Yeah, instead of just doing one, like having the Firefly Funhouse, the Eater of Worlds, Bray, and then the Fiend. Kind of like, there's three of him, not just one. And then eventually, hopefully, have one of them win if he doesn't win.
Because then you could even do stuff like that. Like you could have Jeff and Bray have a rivalry and have them interact with each other, but never have Willow and the Fiend interact.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you could do the same thing with Jeff. You have Jeff come in as the Royal Rumble. Either one of them eliminates the other, then they both get eliminated, and then the Fiend and Willow just have that matchup.
That's amazing. Dude, that's like I said, I really wish the crowd would be back by then. Hopefully
it will be. At least it won't be a packed house, but at least maybe like 25%.
Like space that out, like what AEW is doing. They have like a limited amount of fans, and then they can still have the virtual
fans back like entirely. To see both of those entrances, Willow and the Fiend in the Thunderdome, if they keep going with that would be something to see. I'm excited for that if they do it in the Thunderdome.
That I wish I had tickets to Orlando right now to go in person, at least. I actually had a Thunderdome experience once. We spoke about it in a previous episode. It was pretty cool. But I guess we can get on to the next match we have in the card. One of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most, the one that excites me about this card, the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Bayley and Sasha Banks. Do any of you feel like Sasha Banks will win this time? Or do you think Bayley will retain and keep her title going?
Anthony, you want to go first?
Oh, okay. I mean...
You got it.
I don't know. Because it's like you've spent so much time like building up the feud that you can do the match and just have Sasha win, and then that's the end of that. but I feel like that's a little anticlimactic. Like it's, you've had such a long storied history. That's not even like just on this year. Like, this is years in the making that
Yeah.
we've been going on about Sasha and Bayley. But I was thinking about like how they could stretch it out a little further. And that's really if they want to stretch this out to Mania, which I don't know if they want to at this point. They might just be like, we've been going on for this too long. Let's just get it over with. But if they want to stretch it to Mania, they could really have Sasha win this weekend and then either on SmackDown or depending on if they do like brand versus brand Survivor Series, you make the story that Sasha hasn't defended her title successfully yet. So immediately she loses the title on the first defense. And now you can continue the story a little more. You injure Sasha again. You keep her out, let her win the Rumble. Now we have a big money match for WrestleMania. There's different ways that you could go about it. I really haven't figured out what they're going to do yet. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Bayley not sign the contract yet?
She didn't. Technically, she didn't.
That's another, which I'm sure they're going to do the match regardless, considering if they don't, we'll only have 3 matches on the card. So they'll do something. But I think for this weekend, I'm going to stick with my prediction because I want to see it happen. And I think I'm going to go with Sasha winning. There's more to the story, I think. But for now, for that stuff to progress, I think Sasha's got to win this weekend.
I had the same mindset, like with Sasha potentially losing her first title defense and keeping that a storyline.
Mm-hmm. Because they brought it up like during this feud a little bit. Yeah. So it's definitely, they can implement it a little bit if they want to.
I had a similar prediction, but kind of different. Like I want this feud to go on to Mania next year and eventually having that match. And I feel like one way they could do it, this is kind of like, this might be far-fetched. There may be like a 95.5% chance that this may not happen. But I had something where, because I don't know if you guys seen, but Ronda Rousey may be returning soon. She's been training a little bit.
Yep.
I feel like she may be returning sooner rather than we think. And I feel like if she were to return, this would be the perfect time for her to do so. Because we've seen Charlotte. We've seen Ronda Rousey feud with Charlotte and Becky in the past, mainly with them two. I think Ronda Rousey only had like 1 match with Sasha, and that's it, I believe. I feel like this would be the perfect time to have Ronda Rousey come back and feud with the other 4 horsewomen of WWE. Because, like I said, we've seen Becky and Charlotte feud with Ronda a lot than like the past year and a half, even though they've both been out for a while. And I feel like since they're both Charlotte and Becky are out for a while, I feel like this is the perfect time to have her come back and feud with Bayley and or Sasha to potentially see a 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen match eventually. And I would want to see, if I want Sasha to win, but in the different thing about with your prediction, Anthony, I want Ronda Rousey to be the one beating Sasha for that championship in her first title defense. Because then that keeps the story between Sasha and Bayley. No, you don't have, you eventually have Bayley beat Ronda for it eventually and have Sasha win the Rumble. And then it sets up the 2 feuds between them two. And then that gives Ronda the chance to be on SmackDown, since I feel like their division is not weaker, but I think the Raw division is better than the SmackDown division. So I feel like that would be the greater view for SmackDown, in that opinion.
Yeah.
So I got Sasha winning that match.
I like both your predictions. I gotta go with Bayley though. Ooh. I think I want this to also stretch out to Mania. The Ronda thing was perfect. Like, it was a great idea. But I think Bayley needs to win Sunday. They could still do a rivalry with Ronda, and they could have Ronda go after Bayley first, or cost Sasha the belt. You know what I mean? Like, she could cost Sasha the belt, have a feud with Sasha, then feud Bayley, take the belt off of Bayley. I would give Sasha the belt at Rumble against Ronda.
Okay.
And then I would have Bayley versus Sasha at Mania. But the story going in is Bayley just saying over and over, you can't beat me. Can't beat me. You can't defend your title. You haven't had a good title defense. That's the whole story right there. So going into Mania, you don't know how to defend your title. You can't beat me. So what do you think you're gonna beat me on the biggest stage? So I think that's a good story of them going in. Like, it will also be cool just seeing Bayley just keeping the title and then having the same story. You can't beat me. What do you think? You're gonna beat me at Mania? Like, does that really make sense?
Yeah,
So
I honestly like that story a lot. I might be switching to Bayley after that one.
I think the story of just you can't beat Bayley is a great storyline that they can go with into Mania. Don't have her beat Bayley until Mania. Even if she's the champion at Mania and you think, oh, Bayley won the Royal Rumble, she's taking the title, Sasha has to beat her at Mania.
I really love Bayley's title reign too as SmackDown Women's Champion. It's been
going good. Yeah,
she is the best SmackDown Women's Champion in my opinion.
Yeah.
Becky may have been the first one, but she's not the best one. But
we talked about Becky.
Yeah,
we don't gotta get into that again.
Yeah, Joel's not a big fan of Becky.
Not really? A big fan.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of her?
I'm not a big fan. I think at this point, if they're gonna, depending on when she's due back, if they could get Ronda versus Becky, I feel like that's the only match that I really want to see for Becky at this point, or for Ronda, period. Well, no, I want to see Ronda versus Asuka. But I mean, like, I feel like Becky and Ronda is the only match that I really want to see from Becky. She already beat everyone. It's like
that match is long overdue too.
Yeah, true. Because we got the triple threat at Mania, which it was not great, but it wasn't good. Like, if you mess up the ending on a WrestleMania main event, I can't call your match good. Like, it's just that. Yeah. But I do really want to see that singles match. But I'm not really big on Becky either, so I could agree with you there. But yeah,
Joel, you were there for that Mania too, right, Joel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. It was a long ass card, but it was cool. Actually, I finessed St. Francis to get tickets, but that's another story. But yeah, just the way that ended, the whole stadium didn't know what happened. Like,
yeah, you could just like sense the confusion from everyone, even like the wrestlers. They were like,
"What happened?"
Like, what's going on? And then her music hit, and it was like, I guess
she won.
I guess she won. I guess that's how it's gonna go. It was just a weird ending, and I think that's why I don't think Vince will have another women's main event for a while after that happened.
That's true.
Do you think that this Bayley versus Sasha feud can eventually be a main event at some point? Definitely. Not a Mania, but like a main event.
Oh, I could see it. I could see a main event in Mania.
You do? Oh,
because they
have such the main eventing this weekend. Honestly,
I had them up there in my opinion. I had them up there. They're definitely up there in the card. I had them either in between the world title matches or after basically main event. Because that story, in my opinion, I love all three stories between the championship matches, but my favorite one is the Sasha versus Bayley. That's the one we needed to find out what happens to. No, I don't want to jump into the other two matches yet, but the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, we can kind of somewhat get. I don't know about you guys, but we can somewhat know what's gonna happen. But this match between the Bayley and Sasha we don't know yet. Is Bayley gonna retain it? Is Sasha gonna win it? We don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see that match. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most between the three title matches. I guess we could jump to the next title match. WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Again, one of these feuds that just doesn't. We don't know when it's going to end.
It doesn't end.
Doesn't end.
That's how it's going.
Do one of you guys think that Drew McIntyre will put the stamp on this feud and end it, or
so.
is Randy Orton going to get his championship back and then continue until Drew gets a rematch?
I don't know at this point, honestly, because on one hand, Drew's amazing. Like, he's doing really well with the title. So I think they're going to be a little hesitant to take off the title at this point. But I mean, you think of it like, I don't want to jump right into the Universal title, but like, if Drew retains, then we're going to see 3 titles possibly being retained. So, my thought of it as like, there has to be at least one title changing hands. And if any title is going to change hands, after I made my switch to Bayley, because I agree with Joel, but if any title is going to change hands, I think it's probably going to be the WWE title. And I also say that because, Randy's fought him. It's going to be 3 times now.
Yeah.
He's lost to him. If Drew wins this weekend, he's lost to him 3 times in a row. And I know that Randy's, a veteran at this point. So it's not going to hurt him as much as someone else losing 3 times in a row. But you built up Randy throughout the year to be like, Raw's biggest heel, it seems. I guess that's an argument now that the Fiend's on Raw. But for now, Raw's biggest heel. So I think you can go either way. And that's why I'm going to predict Orton winning the title. I think, after Clash of Champions, I didn't really like the look that they gave Orton with the whole legend stuff. I thought that only could work if Edge was that last guy on top of the ambulance.
That's what I said too at one point.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to come back and be like, yo.
But, to have him get beat up by like 50-year-old retired wrestlers, and then have him lose again in Hell in a Cell, I don't really like the look of that for Orton. So I feel like you can go with Orton winning the title this weekend. And then honestly, at Mania, you could go Orton versus Edge for the title. And that's a really good match that I'm looking forward to seeing, because they're eventually going to do that match with or without the title.
Yeah.
But then
kind of like a rematch
like,
to
last. But then it's like, you have a lot of other contenders that Drew could go up against. Like, I'm wanting to see like Drew versus Sheamus, Drew versus Fiend, Drew versus honestly anyone at this point you could throw him up against. So for now, I'm going to go with Orton, which might be like, not the ideal pick. But if any title is going to change hands this weekend, I think it's got to be the WWE title.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, I feel like Orton should have won at least the first time they went up against. I think it was at SummerSlam. 2020, the first half of 2020 was, my opinion, Orton's year. I thought it was going to be Orton's year where he was going to come out on top either way. But I agree with you, Anthony. I feel like as of right now, they've been building Orton down a little bit, especially after Clash of Champions. I thought that was going to be it for the feud. I thought that was going to be the ending to it, because that would have been a cool ending to see all the legends beat him up at the end and kind of get revenge on him. But I guess not, since they're facing again this Sunday. But I have to agree with you on that. I got Orton winning because I don't see WWE just having Orton lose after this amount of time they had together. If they want 2020 to be Orton's year, because we can argue that Drew McIntyre has also been the MVP of this year, but you can also say Orton is too. But if they want to have Orton be the guy for 2020, I think they got to give him the WWE Championship. The one who beats Drew McIntyre for the title, the one who goes to the Survivor Series as a triple threat match or one-on-one match, depending on what they do, and beat that and win that match. If they want to continue his momentum, I think this is the only time and the right time to have him win the title, to go up against, like I said, Roman Reigns, potentially, maybe Finn Balor. If they include NXT this year, we don't know yet, but I feel like Orton has to win this match. There's no option to have him lose.
Another McIntyre versus Orton prediction. I'm gonna have to go with Orton. I think it's time for McIntyre to drop the belt. Not because he's a bad champion, just because it just makes sense for the storyline. It doesn't make sense for Orton to lose again. And then also, if he loses again, who does McIntyre go against after?
I mean, you have a whole stacked card of the draft now. You got AJ Styles, like Anthony said. They have Sheamus. They have all these big guys: Braun Strowman, The Fiend, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and the list goes on. I feel like he has more competition now on Raw since the draft.
Do you think I would care about a match of McIntyre versus Strowman? Do you think Vince cares about McIntyre versus AJ match? No shot. I would love to see McIntyre versus Riddle for the belt, but I think Riddle is just too early for him. Yeah. I think there's no real competition for McIntyre at the moment. Because all these guys just moved over to Raw, right?
Yeah.
Nobody has really gotten a chance to cement like, yo, I will be the guy on Raw. You know what I mean? Like when AJ got drafted to SmackDown, he was like, yo, this is gonna be my show. Ended up being the house that AJ built. So
Yep.
I think right now there's nobody really for McIntyre yet. I think if Randy wins it, maybe goes on for a few months, McIntyre gets it back, maybe like again at Rumble or something, then we'll have a chance to see maybe Riddle's being built up, maybe Lashley's being built up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe it'll give people more time to build up a story against McIntyre. So maybe like even when McIntyre doesn't have the belt, he'll feud with maybe the Hurt Business. And once he gets the belt, that's it. There it goes. That's the match that everybody wants to see now, Lashley and McIntyre.
That match should happen already, but especially now with the Hurt Business
now it's
persona.
A different feel.
Yeah, it's a different feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, MVP is the MVP of 2020. My man's been doing his thing. Yeah. He's really helping them out in there. I think, like you said, it's not the same. If like as they went against each other before, now it's even bigger because the Hurt Business is doing. And also, if you give Hurt Business a couple months, they're gonna build even stronger and better. So then Lashley's gonna be like a legit person that's like, oh, him and McIntyre for the belt. That's something I gotta see.
I have a question or something related to the Hurt Business, what they're doing now.
Let's talk about it.
Do you guys like the way they built up Retribution the last 2 weeks on Raw? Do you like Ali being the leader? Do you like the kind of involvement with The Fiend now since he's been a part of it?
Yes and no. Yes, because I think with Ali as the leader, it makes a lot of sense. Now they have a clear story, that, you look at the history that, Ali was supposed to really be in the slot that Kofi, the whole Kofi Mania thing, that was supposed to be Ali's, Elimination Chamber match. He obviously got injured. That didn't really happen. So ever since coming back, now he's been, relegated to like main event, doing random matches with like Ricochet and like random guys like that, losing to like Riddick Moss, like random stuff like that. So I feel like if any guy was going to be the leader, it was probably going to be him. So I like that. And now that really gives, Dijakovic and Mia Yim, Dio Madden. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying their real names. Excuse me, Slapjack,
T-Bar,
whatever. But that gives them like a little bit more of a story because everyone has a way that they've been screwed over by the system or whatever they're calling it. But that promo that Ali cut after the whole thing with the Fiend, which I'll get into in a second, but that was really, I think, what is really holding me on to Retribution, because I really like this idea, but it's not panning out as well as it should be. But now that you have a little bit more of like a story with Ali, I think now you can build on a little bit. But now, we talk about the bad with the Fiend. I didn't like what they did. I think it made them look a little weak, but at the same time, I think they only really did it because they always do like these big moments at the beginning of like the season premiere or like a big episode of like Fox SmackDown or whatever. Like when they had Vince in the ring and then the Fiend came out and then Braun came out and then Retribution came out, like random stuff like that. So I feel like they really only did it to hype up, the season premiere of Raw, and you have the Fiend and here comes Retribution, crazy moment. But I feel like they could have just stopped it at there. Like you didn't need to have them lose to the Hurt Business in like a minute and then have
the Fiend
attack them. Like that made them look a little weak, but I think the promo afterwards saved them a little bit.
I agree.
As far as going forward, I feel like they'll be all right, hopefully. There's definitely some stuff that they could do. I don't see them really wrestling this weekend. Hopefully not.
Oh, yeah,
but,
me neither.
Yeah, because we've already seen the 4-on-4. To do it again, even with Retribution winning, I feel like it's going to be a little bit, overexposure, I guess you could call it, and neither team can really afford to lose. So I think they need to figure out what they're doing with Ali going forward. And there's definitely some stuff you could do. It's just coming down to, good writing for them.
Yeah, I like that promo where he brought up the hacker thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was genius. That was genius because I swear I thought they forgot about that for a second. I was like,
you guys
there's no way, dude.
Do you guys think that, he was supposed to be the hacker all along? Or do you think it was someone else?
I mean, I read something around the time that this hacker thing started. I read something where it was like Vince didn't have any plan for it to begin with. This is something that they just did and they kept on doing it. Mm-hmm. So I don't think originally they had a leader plan or like a person plan that they just do it. But it made sense too. It makes sense. I always thought it was Ali because of the circle thingy that they showed.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
True.
So it's like it has to be Ali. There's no one else that's doing it unless they're planning on doing a big thing, a big reveal, which they did. But it makes sense. I've always thought it made sense to be Ali. It's like you mentioned before that how Ali got taken off the Elimination Chamber match, and Kofi got the big push, and then also later on that year, I think it was the Money in the Bank match where Ali was on top and Brock Lesnar returned, costing the match. There's so many things about Ali that they didn't go well with him that year. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense to have him be the one going around the roster saying it's like a corrupt company and how he leads his team with other people who deserve a better chance in the company, deserve a better spot in the company. So it all ties in together. I love how this all ties in. It goes back to last year and to everything that happened to everyone. Because I saw something on Twitter where I mentioned this in an episode with you, Joel, where someone tweeted like a whole list of things that something similar with Ali. Like,
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Dominic Dijakovic had a few missed things in 2019. Same with Dio Madden with getting attacked by Lesnar, and Mia Yim not being.
That was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I completely forgot that happened, and they just wrote him off, and I was like, "Where's Dio?"
Like, I don't even know why they had him on. I'm like, what's the point of having him on? But you have like the other guys, Slapjack. Let's call him Slapjack. That's his name now. But Slapjack, it was confusing why they had him on there. He didn't really do much to begin with, but they did bring up a point where he was at one point in the beginning of the pandemic where he was managed by MVP, and then they just wrote that off. Him and an attacking partner, they were managed on Raw.
Yeah, literally. Brendan Vink.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They were managed by MVP, and then they wrote that off.
And then they won. Like they were winning a few matches. Like they beat like Ricochet and Cedric. Yeah.
I mean, everybody was beating Ricochet.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Everybody's winning Ricochet now.
But I do remember them winning like 2 or 3 matches.
Yeah.
Something that
I even forgot about that.
Yeah, so that sort of ties into the Retribution part. That makes sense too, I guess. Even though it was only 2 matches, I think. But I love how they all have something where it's the meaning of Retribution. They want to tear down the whole, not literally tear down the whole place, even though they have, but they're getting revenge, retribution, and everything, and everybody in the company trying to get back on top. That's why I was also confused on why they lost the 4-4. Again, it's the hurt.
Yeah.
Once I saw Ali being the leader, I said, "Oh, they're gonna take a couple L's now."
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
I like it, but it just that promo really sold me after that, and I was like, "This might be going well. Hopefully, it goes well.
Mm-hmm.
They go back on top. They need wins. They need W's." Not L's.
Definitely, yeah.
So I guess we can get into the last match. The last match of the 4-match pay-per-view as of now. The Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. I think I know what you guys are gonna say.
Jey Uso's winning. What do you think? He's gonna be the new champion.
We don't know. It could be a shock factor. It could be the main event shock factor that we always want.
Yo, it's not far-fetched.
Honestly, not really.
Not far-fetched. I feel. I'll start it off. I'm gonna say Uso's winning.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna say I don't know. It's just I have a feeling he's gonna win it. I think he'll lose it quickly.
Yeah,
I think it'll just so that he has it, so that they can say he beat Roman once.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how. I don't know how. That's too much for me right now. I'm gonna say maybe Jimmy comes out and just helps him out and does something. I don't know. Maybe just hits Roman with a chair or something. But I would personally like to see Jey Uso win.
It'll be the biggest underdog story I think ever.
Oh my
in
goodness,
my
the shock
opinion.
factor would be insane. SmackDown would definitely be must watch that week.
Yeah. It'll be Jey Uso's show now instead of Roman Reigns.
Exactly.
Jey Uso is the tribal chief.
But then he'll
Jey Uso is the tribal chief. You don't go.
It's like once they announce, oh, we're gonna have a rematch, I'm like, that's it.
Yep.
I think
Rest in
they'll
peace
have
to his
that.
title reign.
I think he'll if they give it to him, they'll give it to him just for that night, and then Friday they'll do like a little celebration thing.
It's like with when Ryder won the IC title at Mania.
Exactly.
And then the next night,
just give him a feel good moment, and then get back to the Miz.
I think that's just to build it up to say like, oh, so you guys are scrappy. Like you guys, if you really want it, you could win. And I think that would down the line, as we've talked about on this show, lead up to the Usos joining Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns.
Do you guys like that bloodline kind of gimmick? You know how
I love it. I love it.
Because I have seen things on Twitter where people are like, oh, they shouldn't do the bloodline gimmick. They shouldn't do that. But I think it might be the best thing that they could do on SmackDown as of now.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And we've talked about this. Like, that's also a far-fetched thing that they've talked about with it leading to The Rock. With it leading to, why are you guys doing this? This is not what our tradition's about. This is not what our family's about. Why are you guys just raising hell everywhere? And then he's got to put the SmackDown on some people. You know The Rock. The Rock.
Because that's also, like, we're talking about a lot of WrestleMania dream matches right here. This is also,
this
is the Hell in a Cell and WrestleMania.
This is what this show is about. This is what this show is about. Fantasy booking, baby.
Yeah, we like to talk about fantasy booking. We like to call ourselves the feature writers of WWE.
Oh, honestly, I'm all for it.
Yeah. I still say if we get Roman versus The Rock has to take that L.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can't let Rock win. I think it was different for like Rock versus Cena because there wasn't like a lot on the line there. But like when you put Roman up against The Rock and like Roman's gonna be your next guy, you have
to put him.
You gotta let him win.
And I think it's not just the story. Like you don't have to create a story; it's already there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the John Cena thing, they had to be like, oh, he does movies like you. He's trying to be like you. Mm-hmm. The story's right there for you. Yeah. Like you could say like, oh, he brainwashed the Usos to join him and he's corrupting them. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what this family's about. The story writes itself.
And there's so many like possibilities that you could like add to the story. Like you could throw in like Rikishi makes an appearance on SmackDown. Yeah. You could throw in like, any of like Alpha or Siko, whoever's still around that could be, do like, and you could do anything, honestly. And I feel like having that Samoan storyline could be really, really good.
Yeah, I hope they like do something where, and of course we've seen the tribal chief name be thrown around at Roman a lot, but I hope they kind of go somewhere with them having more their heritage being with their gimmick instead of Roman Reigns wearing that vest that he's been wearing for years. Just give him like a different look, a different feeling to it. Same with the Usos. I like the Day One Usos, but give them like the Samoan gimmick more. Like they did before the Day One thing with their tradition in the beginning of their entrance. Yeah. Give them that back
and stuff.
Yeah. And then
I also
more
thought
Samoan look.
Yeah. I also thought when I heard, they're in talks with The Rock, maybe Rock versus Reigns, you can go so far with this storyline that you could even get them a manager. Get like Paul Heyman's with Roman, but the Usos get a manager. Let's say that manager is The Rock's daughter, and she has to call Roman Reigns tribal chief.
Okay.
And then you brainwashing my daughter, my family. You know what I mean? Like it just
you're going deep.
You're going personal.
it just writes itself. I'm telling you, it's just
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And then but like I said, The Rock has to take the L. So maybe you got to have 2 matches with them. So at least you give The Rock that one win, but you don't have it as like a one-on-one. You have it as like The Rock and whoever the Usos are feuding with versus Roman Reigns and the Usos.
Yeah, and
Right.
then
They win. They take The Rock gets that W, like maybe like the pay-per-view before Mania, and then takes that L at Mania.
Yeah, I agree with that because that would, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Usos have like another brother that's not in WWE.
Oh,
Like in the independent.
he's nasty.
Yeah.
He's nice.
I heard they have a brother who looks exactly like them, but it's not a twin.
Yeah, and he
But,
has
like,
the same
same thing, same tattoo, same hair, same everything.
Yeah, not trying to trash him. My man has the same gimmick on the indies. It's just
literally the third
family thing. Yeah,
yeah.
He's really the third.
They could really use him in the storyline. That'd be cool. They brought him to WWE for like
just let him get attacked one week.
Yeah.
Just come in and take a beating.
Like they go that deep. Maybe bringing the Rock's daughter into this, might as well bring their brother into this as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
The unknown members of the NOI family.
Yeah.
Like,
I think isn't what's his name? The MLW champion. What's his name? Is he?
Fatu?
I know who you're talking about.
Fatu.
Yeah,
Jacob Fatu. Yeah, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, he's in that. Their family runs deep, man.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yo, you know what? I would go even as far as bringing the Rock's mom and getting a spear by Roman Reigns. You know how crazy that would be?
That was having speared.
You know how crazy that would be?
Oh
I'd be
God.
like, okay, I think you guys are taking this too far.
Having spear Simone or something. Spear everyone in the family. Spear. Go ahead there. That'd be cool. Like bring everyone in the family. That would
They
be
just
awesome.
show like a Thanksgiving dinner. It's just Roman Reigns shows up and just spears everybody.
Like have like a segment where they're all eating dinner and then like spears everyone.
Yo, that's a way of
I made
building
this
up a match.
Like who brought the turkey? Nobody. Like you'll like get it because it's stuffing in the face.
Cheesy.
But, yeah, cheesy. Gotta go there. Had to go there.
But yeah, I got Uso. Who do you
got, Anthony?
I wish I was as brave as Joel to predict Jey Uso winning the Universal title, but I got to go with Roman, and it's also because we have that stipulation that they're hyping up to reveal tonight, actually, as to like what are like the big. He was like hyping up some big like repercussion or whatever if Jey loses. So I feel like they wouldn't introduce that if he wasn't going to lose.
Maybe it's the if you lose you join Paul Heyman or not. Maybe it's that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I think
that's true.
but also that's why I remember them saying that too, and that's why I feel he'll take that win and then immediately lose it.
Yeah.
But my bad for cutting you off. Keep going.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I feel like I think honestly you convinced me enough to think that Jey could win. So I think my prediction is really going to come down to what the reveal is tonight, and like what they go about, however they go about it. But I feel like the safe pick for now is just for Roman. But I'll get back to you guys on what I think. But for now,
let me know.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go with Roman for now.
Okay, yeah, that's to me that was the obvious choice. I mean, it would be such a complete shock factor if Jey gets the victory.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a title match, it'll still be kind of a shock. Even though he's had been built up as a great singles competitor. I think he beat AJ Styles once on a SmackDown.
Yeah, like a random SmackDown.
Yeah. And it's like I like because I know we talked about this a lot too, Joel and I, in the previous episode where you have Jey kind of go on a singles run before Jimmy returns, have him win like the IC title, have him go on a successful singles run, and like you said, also that same episode where you have Jey kind of eventually go downhill, and that's when he kind of joins Paul Heyman and be like, "Oh, I need your help, man.
Right.
My cousin, you can help me win."
Yeah, they're doing a lot to build up Jey. Like, and I'm surprised by it because I never imagined them to do something like this. I guess it's because Jimmy's injured, and
they need something for him probably.
Yeah, and, they need something for Roman. They need something. I don't think they really needed anything for Jey. I feel like this was more for Roman, but it's becoming now the Jey Uso story, which I really like. So how they're going about it is really, really good, especially on last Friday rather. The whole segment after the Braun match was, it's like this whole big story that they're just being able to build up just because of like these little acts, like, call me the tribal chief, I love you too, hits you with the chair. random stuff like that. It's really, really good. I really like this whole story. I don't really know how. Do you think they would like continue this story after Hell in a Cell, maybe with Jimmy? Or I guess it really depends if he joins them or whatever. But do you think like they'll continue it?
I think so. I feel like if Jimmy doesn't show up again this Sunday, maybe they'll have maybe one more match at the most.
Yeah.
To bring Jimmy in this, unless they have some type of, because I think he's supposed to return either December or January. Not sure.
Right. Because it's like my thing is, I feel like the original plan for Jay was just someone to go up against Roman as they're building up like Big E, who I think is eventually going to get a match with Roman. But like now that the story is being built up, like I'm down for like Roman versus the whole family the rest of the year and into Mania. Like
bring in everybody.
Wait, Big E's fine. He could just fight like, I don't know, go for the IC title for like the rest of the year. I'm trying to see Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania. So
I hope they do that Thanksgiving. I would love to see that. If they don't listen to this podcast, then I don't know what they're doing. Because that segment needs to happen. That would be cool. That would be so funny. I would crack up if that happens.
Another question that I had for you guys. I don't know if you brought it up on the show before, but what do you think of like, because I know that now Roman's like, he's ditching the vest. Do you think he needs new music? Or like, do you think he's fine with the music he has? Personally, I think he's okay with the music.
Yeah.
Because if you go too much with like, if you want to make like a tribal chief theme song, then I feel like that's going to be a little cheesy. And like, I don't think you really need it. And Roman's like established his theme a little bit. Like for me, it's become more of Roman's theme than the Shield's theme. So
definitely.
Yeah. Just because of like, especially just with this run alone, like he's done a lot to build up himself as a star. So like, do y'all think he needs a new theme, or is it just like, I think he's fine?
I think I agree with you what you said. Like, I think this theme song fits him well. I don't think if you change it, I feel like it would be kind of weird and strange. But I feel like they should keep it for now. Maybe change his Titantron a little bit. A little bit. I wouldn't see them changing his theme. I think that's his theme. That's more of his style when he comes out. Yeah. That's more of a heel theme to me. So I would keep definitely that for him instead of changing it.
Yeah, I think maybe I think keeping his theme, maybe like if they do the group, maybe they have a group theme when they come out together. But I think he should keep his. Yeah. Because like you said, I think it's more of his. I think of it more as his theme than the Shield's.
Right.
Yeah, and I could see them like changing like a different theme song for the group when they all come out together as a 3-person group. Yeah. But as individual,
the thing is, if they want to make like a new theme, they better make it like a kick-ass theme song for the Bloodline. Because like Roman's theme as it is really good. Like it's grown on me. But you're gonna need like a really good theme for them because like. And they're capable of making good themes, besides whatever they're doing with Keith Lee right now. But, like, this new Her Business theme, it's, like, really good. I heard a little bit of the Retribution theme song. I like it a lot. So I think,
Bobby Lashley's theme song is amazing.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley's theme. So many really good themes. But, if they want to make a Bloodline theme song, they better make it, like, worth it. Making one for them. If not, then just go with Roman.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Damn, so y'all both got Roman?
Yeah. We got Roman.
I have to go with Roman.
Cool. Okay. All right. Just want to remind y'all, who's the first person to ever pin Roman Reigns?
That was true. It was Jey Uso.
Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
I'm surprised they haven't brought that up.
I know, right? Me too. I was surprised about that.
Yeah, like that would fit in so perfect with the story.
Yeah.
They're like, I gave you your first L. Take that.
Yeah.
Technically, he didn't win at Clash of Champions, so there you go. He has an argument there.
Take it easy, okay? Take it easy. He wasn't talking about Clash of Champions.
I guess we can end off by answering the question that we asked last week with the faction question. The question was, if you were to start your own faction with 4 independent guys with you as the leader, and 4 guys from WWE and with you as the leader, who would you choose? And why? Would you want to start that off, Anthony? I know you had a list prepared.
Sure. Yeah, so the question was if I'm the leader or...
If you were the leader and you had 4 guys behind you.
So I'm going to go a little different. Instead of me being the leader, I'm going to be the mouthpiece. I'm going to be the manager.
Okay.
Because one, I don't see myself ever getting in the ring, nor do I want to get in the ring. Yeah. So I'm going to stay to the side. I'm going to take a Paul Heyman manager role.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is, I want to make like a big time faction, right? So I talked to you guys beforehand. I wasn't sure if I could include AEW guys. I just didn't because I feel like my group alone is fine without AEW. So I'm going to just go with some – I took guys from like Impact, NWA, different places like that because they're not really like written contracts. So the first guy I'm picking, leader, you need a big-time champion, good look. I'm picking Nick Aldis from NWA. He's got the title. He looks like $1 million when you put him in a suit. Good physique, good in the ring. Perfect guy for the champion. I want like a cruiserweight guy who could also do some stuff in the mid-card. Really athletic, young, basically the future of the company. I want that to be Chris Bay from TNA Impact. I think he's got a lot of potential in him. He's good on the mic. He's good in ring. He does a lot of really good stuff. You need a bodyguard, not really a bodyguard, but like the heavy of the group. If you want to get to Nick Aldis, you got to go through him. And he did a lot of really good work in Lucha Underground specifically, which is why I'm picking him. He's not really big, but I compare him to like Taz almost because, as
his physique kind of.
Yeah, because of his physique and because, he just has that type of attitude to him. So I want Jeff Cobb, who I think is he was Matanza in Lucha Underground. And, I really like him a lot. I might switch him out. I don't really know. But for now, maybe I'll pick an AEW guy. But for now, I'm going to go with Jeff Cobb as like the heavy of the group. And if I'm going to pick a woman for a group, I wasn't sure about this one because like there are a few good picks that you could go for. But, for a woman in the group, I want someone who's, really good in the ring, obviously. Someone that you could treat as like a threat in the ring, pretty good on the mic. Everyone got to be pretty good on the mic besides Jeff Cobb because he doesn't really need to say anything. So if I'm going to pick a woman, give me Deonna Purrazzo, the Knockouts champion. I think she's really good.
Good pick.
Impact is doing a lot for her right now to make her as like this big threat. Whatever her nickname is, the Virtuosa, I think. She really revitalized her career after taking that L to Nia Jax, which I'm not even get into my opinion on Nia Jax, but
we all have our opinions on her, man. Maybe
definitely, but one's coming at Impact. I think she's done. I watched her match at Slammiversary versus Jordynne Grace. Really good match. I haven't seen the other match that they did, but I'm sure it was equally as good. I really like her. Again, might swap her out, but I think for now. Those four characters combined, plus, my mic work, which I'm sure is going to elevate the group to new heights, if you will. But, I think that group, we could make some stuff happen.
That's actually a good group. I would not go against them. I would definitely be afraid of them. Joel, you got a group that you have that you want to put together? Independent wrestler?
So I did basically champion, a world champion, secondary champion, tag team.
Okay.
So I got Jay Lethal from Ring of Honor. Insane. I don't know how he hasn't been signed yet. I think that's a travesty. I think he's one of the best.
Signed with Ring of Honor?
No, like signed to WWE.
Okay.
I don't know how he hasn't made it there yet. Like he's one of those guys that's been around for a while and is insanely good in the ring. For the secondary belt, it's a toss-up between Brian Pillman Jr. and Jimmy Lloyd from GCW. I don't know if you guys have heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He's he's a big guy that can actually move around. So I'm leaning towards more Jimmy Lloyd. And then for tag teams, I would have to pick. I want to have somebody in the team that has been around lately, that has been around for a while, and to bring them back into relevancy. Like they haven't, I'm not going to say they're irrelevant, but I'm going to say the Briscoe brothers. Bring them in. Okay. And I think that faction would be incredible. They can all talk. They all can go in the ring. Like you can put them 4 and 4. You could split them up. you have everything in there. You know what I mean? So you got the tags, secondary belt, and the world title.
Nice.
That's
I like
pretty
that
good.
a lot.
Yeah, I did my list completely different than what you guys have. I
Yeah,
did
I feel
somewhat
bad that I didn't include a woman.
Yeah, I didn't have
Yeah,
mine
I
either.
was
So I
like,
didn't
I
think of
wasn't
that.
sure. I was
Like,
like, should I include? I might as well.
And you know what's foul? I'll say it out loud. I didn't even think of it. I didn't even
Me
think,
neither.
oh,
I
I
was like,
should
I
put a
did.
woman
I
in
thought of
this.
it like last second. I was like, oh, I kind of got it, don't I? But then I was like, Deanna Perraz was great. So I'll just
Yeah.
No, yeah, she's insane.
Yeah, you cannot have
Yeah.
her in a faction. That's a good pick. I did mine different in a way where it's like somewhat similar to yours, Joel. I had a tag team in mind and 2 singles competitors. I did mine differently because I have all of my group young independent wrestlers who deserve a title shot, or not a title shot, who deserve a bigger push in the independent scene, who have been really, really impressing me lately. The first person actually wrestled, and I don't know if you heard this company, Anthony VXS. He's wrestled in VXS once. Jordan Oliver.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of him?
I might have. That sounds very familiar.
He wrestled in there. I saw his match. Impressed me like crazy. I was like, I think he's younger than, I think he's at my age, maybe.
Oh, wow.
He's my age and he's killing it already. He faced, I think, what's his name? Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Yeah, he faced him once in a match. I was like, damn, I think he won too. That's the crazy part. But I want him in my group. He's definitely someone who's caught my attention, who's 21 years old and aggressive as hell. Someone who's gonna go at it and beat people up and doesn't give a damn about who he comes across with. So I'm like, he's definitely someone who I want in my group, and someone who's young and ready to work and ready to win. Another person who I want is another young independent wrestler who's actually, I think, a champion in MLW. His name is Myron Reed. He faced Jordan Oliver once in a match, and both of them impressed me at the same time. So I'm like, I gotta have him in my group. And this tag team, I don't think a lot of people know about, but I saw them compete once in a smaller venue. But I think they're somewhat getting up there in the independent scene. Their tag team name is Top Flight. I don't know if you've heard of them. The what's their names? Their names are Angel Dorado and Airwolf.
Yeah, I know Airwolf. I don't know
Airwolf.
about the other one, honestly.
Why does that sound so familiar? I have to look that up right now.
They're a tag team in the independent. Their tag team name is Top Flight, and they both of them are kind of like cruiserweights, lucha superstars who are amazing in the ring, and they're young, and they're, like I said, they're like hardworking guys in the ring. If I put all of them together and had me as a leader, I put it in a perspective where I was like a big name in the independent scene already. So like if I were the leader of this young group, a lot of people would know them more. They'd probably go like different companies like AEW,
right,
Impact, Ring of Honor, stuff like that. So I feel like that would be a great way for start a new faction and get these people up there in the get their name up there in the independent scene. So I feel like that would be a great team to put together. Do you guys have their own team for a WWE faction? If you were to start a WWE faction,
Ooh.
Who would you choose? That was a hard one for me because I think I took time to figure this one out. I put Angel Garza in mine because Angel Garza, even though he should be a singles competitor, I love him as a I feel like he would be well in my group. Mm-hmm. I got Isaiah Scott. Impressive to me. I love his ability. And then I got Humberto Carrillo, another great talent who doesn't do anything, but should be in a group. And the last one, who is my last one? Who did I put? I think I put someone from NXT. Oh, that guy Ashante the Adonis, I think his name was. He appeared on NXT last week.
Yeah.
He's really good too. So that's my WWE faction right there. Don't have a name, but it doesn't have a group right there. If you would ask me,
wow,
WWE.
I don't even know who I would pick. I feel like guys like there's so many options. Like you mentioned, a lot of them. I would definitely have maybe like an Angel Garza in there. I really like Andrade. I feel like he would be good in that kind of role. I know he's injured. We talked about him off camera. Rich Holland. I think he's he's that type of heavy that you could throw in there. Wow, different. You know, a lot of different guys.
Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
it's fine. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
okay.
you know, you could even throw in like a lot of veterans. Like I
Yeah.
feel like Cesaro, you could throw in a faction, he'll
Yeah,
succeed. Even as the top guy, really, you could throw him in.
Nakamura.
You know, Sheamus, sure, why not? Nakamura, different guys like that. I think really.
What would you name your faction?
What would I name my faction?
Yeah.
I would name
Make
my
it-
faction Retribution 2.0. That's what I would name my faction.
Retribution. What's the synonym for retribution? gotta think of that one.
Slapjack and T-Bar Part 2. That's my faction.
Jackson.
Oh yeah, if I have a faction, everyone's getting new names.
New
like
name, yeah,
that,
new
like
name.
Toothpick and Face Bar, whatever you want to call it.
Face bar. Okay, I guess that's the we'll wrap the episode right here. Thank you for Anthony for coming on the show and helping
Thank
us
you
out
for
with this
having me. This
prediction.
was a blast, guys. Thank you.
Yeah,
for having me.
glad you had you on here. I'm Nick, your host again. With me as always, my co-host Joel. This has been episode 7, the Hell in a Cell prediction episode. See you guys next time.
Gotcha.